enter the room.
Hello, I'm Dr. Akhtar, one of the doctors in the acute medical unit. Am I speak with Mrs. Carol John?
Um, yes, my name is Carol.
Okay, and I do understand that you are related to Mrs. Susan Bones. So could you please confirm the relationship?
Yes, she's my mother.
Okay, and could you please confirm her age as well?
She's 78, doctor.
Okay, so Carol, as we understand that your mother is being admitted with us, and I have been asked to talk to you about her present condition. So before I explain everything, can I ask you a few questions just to have some better understanding?
Absolutely, yes. Ask doctor, what do you want to know?
Okay. As I understand that your mother is being admitted because of weight loss, so
Mhm.
could you please tell me, like, since how long she has been losing weight?
Um, it's been about, I would say, roughly 4 weeks. That's when she's not been taking food.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you measure the weight?
I mean, it's drastically dropped, doctor. I mean, I would say about a stone
Okay. And how much time?
within that 4 weeks, about a month.
Okay. Okay. And regarding this, like, you mentioned that drastic changes. So, does she able to eat and drink?
I mean, we try to. She never wants to eat or drink. I mean, we've all tried at our house.
Okay, I can understand. So, was she completely stopped, or does she taking any liquid food?
I mean, whenever we offer her food, she usually doesn't want to eat anything. And I mean, I got worried. I mean, I'm not sure what all I can try now. So that's why I brought her here. I was really worried about her losing weight like this.
Okay, yeah, it's completely understandable. I can see that you are very concerned, and as a daughter, it's completely valid. Okay, so Carol, does she have any long-term medical condition?
Yes, doctor, she's living with dementia at the moment.
Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that. And for how long?
It's been about 3 years now.
Okay, and was she on any medication?
Yeah, the doctors had put her on some medication which she was taking. Yeah.
Okay, and was she improving after taking the medication?
No, doctor, she was just not doing well at all.
Okay. So like the dementia has changed her life in different way in these 3 years?
I mean, she's become difficult to deal with. She won't listen to us. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all we can all feel that in our house. We've made our peace with that.
Okay, I can completely understand. It must be very stressful situation.
Mm,
So,
at all.
okay, Carol, just don't worry, we are here to help you. Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, so Carol, just I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding like who does she live with?
Oh, she lives with me, doctor. I take care of her.
Okay, and is there only you the carer or any other carer also there?
It's mainly me. I would say yes, it's me.
Okay. And how about the mobility? Does she mobile before coming to hospital?
Yes, doctor. She's kind of mobile. I mean, I mainly got her for the weight loss.
Okay. So she was able to like maintaining the daily life activity, able to eat and drink by like able to walk and every sorts of things by herself.
I mean, she's a little slow at it, but mainly she doesn't eat and drink as much. I mean, that's why I brought her here. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah, you did the great things that you come here, so we can help you. Okay.
Oh, great, thank you. So,
Uh,
how is she right now?
Okay, so yeah, she's not doing very good at the moment. That's why I have been asked to talk to you. But I just want to ask you a few questions. Could you please bear with me a few minutes?
Absolutely, doctor. But you said she's not doing good. I mean, what do you mean? How
Yeah,
is she doing?
I'll explain it in like a good way. So that's why I have been asked to a few questions. Is it okay with you?
Sure, doctor.
Okay, and what do you do for your living?
I'm a secretary, doctor.
Okay, and do you have any other responsibilities? Like, do you have family?
Yes, I have a family of my own, yeah.
Okay, so do you have children?
Yes, I do. I have two children.
Okay, so how are you coping in terms of like looking after all of these responsibilities together?
It's difficult, doctor, but she's my mother. There's not. I have to take care of her.
Yeah, yeah, I can completely understand this. Okay, and at any point, do you think that you need some help?
I mean, as of now, I don't know whom to approach. I'm doing the best I can.
Okay, don't worry, we are here to help you. We'll definitely guide you in that way. Okay?
Right. But how
Oh,
is my mother? You said she's not
yeah,
doing well.
yeah. So, Carol,
Meeting.
as you understand that your mother has weight loss, so when you brought to hospitals, we have done some tests to rule out the cause, like what is going on with her. So we did some blood test, we did ECG, chest X-ray, and ultrasound, and all of the tests actually come back normal. So
Oh,
uh, our understanding at the moment, because she's losing weight because maybe she because of her dementia. So how much do you know about the dementia?
I mean, I know it affects her mentally. She has problem with her memory and all that. Okay, she's losing weight because of dementia.
Yeah, unfortunately, because let me explain this. It's a condition of brain, and initially it affects the memory. You are right, but it's a progressive condition, and at a stage when it is like on the very late stage, it can affect various function of the body as well. Do you understand?
What are you trying to say, doctor?
Okay, so Carol, actually, I'm afraid, unfortunately, we don't have a very good news about your mother current situation. So, would you like to call somebody, or is it okay to explain with you?
I don't know. What are you saying, doctor? Why do you want somebody over here? Why should I call somebody?
Yeah, Carol, because unfortunately, I don't have very good news, not very encouraging news about your mother condition.
What is the condition? Tell me.
So, okay, Carol, I'm really sorry to tell you that your mother condition is progressed to very late stage, and I'm afraid to tell you that the condition is terminal. Like she is not showing any sign of improvement.
Move on to the next station.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Saida.
Sorry, I didn't notice the time as well today. Okay.
I mean, so this is a Breaking Bad news station. So one tip I'll give you about Breaking Bad news and angry patient and counseling stations is that your data gathering should be relatively less. It should be
Oh,
very catered to what you need to know. Like you only the fact that you're asking so much about the disease and how it's affecting her life, that's something you already know. Like it's come to late stage, so you have. I mean, she's not drinking well, but you kept on probing about, how is her life, how much is she able to live. So what you basically want to know is how much I know about dementia. So that
okay,
question never, because if you understand how much I know about dementia, then it would have been easy for you to actually tell her or tell me, how dementia is related to weight loss, right?
okay,
And
yeah,
okay, you tried to do spikes, that's very good. But your invitation was a little late because you dropped the news that you don't have good news. So when you're actually doing data gathering, try not to drop that news that you don't have any good news. Then I'll get worried. As soon as you tell me I don't have any good news about my mother who I've just bought for weight loss, I'll get really worried. So, you're already, you're trying to, what will say, condition the patient for some bad news. So in that conditioning, if you say that it's a bad news, then it will all go crazy. I mean, your
oh,
conditioning is not happening. So that's the whole
okay,
point of that you're actually conditioning them and then giving the warning shots, invitation, and then you break the news. But in the beginning itself, you told me you don't have a good news. So then, I,
So how
especially in these,
how we gonna like if anyone ask in between, like in the middle part or in the initial part, like how can we tell them? What can I
wait,
tell
that
them?
yeah, that's interesting. Actually, that is kind of hard. So in between, if I'm asked something about how you're doing, is like, I would like to explain the condition, but before I do that, I would like to understand the entire condition that your mother has been having so far. It'll help me in explaining you her condition better. You know. So,
Okay.
saying that she's bad. You're just saying that I would like to know a little bit more about her, which will help me in telling you or disclosing you what she's going through. You see, I'm not saying this, I'm not saying that, but I want to know more.
Okay.
But
Okay.
right, so the examiner will come and explain you the station. But good job, great try. Thank you very much.
Hello, hi. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
examiner. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you feeling now?
Actually, I'm learning like bit like doing the mistake. I can understand what is the actually what I am doing the mistake. So
I'm just yeah. So so basically I'll tell you what you did wrong. So what do you know about breaking bad news? Like what do you know about how do you approach a breaking bad news? You know the spikes protocol, right?
yeah,
Okay. So I could see that you were trying to go by spikes, but you were still doing the data gathering, right? So don't think about it like data gathering. So I'll go through one by one step by step with you. So how do you start spikes? So you recognize that this was a breaking bad news, right? That was the first step.
yeah,
Then so whenever you go in, first thing you see is setting. So in that page, in that purpose, like it doesn't matter in the exam, you're already in a quiet room and all that, so setting doesn't really matter there. But main thing, how you manage the setting here is the patient, the person who is sitting there, the person doesn't know anything what's happening. So you introduce yourself and you tell the purpose of your discussion, why you are there. That's what you did. That you did really well. And that's setting. And then immediately you move on to perception. Perception is your data gathering. So you have a very small window before that where you can data gather, because this is an anxious patient. They're gonna keep asking you doubts, right? They're gonna keep asking you, how is my mother, how. So you have a very limited window. You need to recognize that whenever you see an anxious patient, and you need to prioritize your data gathering questions in that small window. So think about what would you put in the perception. So we have one, two, just two important questions, that's all. So in this condition, in this situation, what are the important questions? Ask open-ended questions about what they've been told so far. So it's a completely open-ended question. So you tell her, I'm here to discuss with you about your mother. But before I do that, could you just tell before just so we're on the same page, could you just tell me what you already know about her condition, right? If you had
mm,
asked that, you didn't even have to ask, does she have any other medical conditions or anything like that, because she would have told you immediately. Yeah, so she's been losing weight, and I mean, like, she's been having dementia and then losing weight, and this was admitted for that and all that. So whatever she's not told you, then you ask them. So you already know that the mother has dementia, right? From the
yeah,
question, so that is something you should never ask. So remember that whenever there is something information in the question that is already given, do not ask it directly, the question, because that shows a very bad impression to the examiner in the exam. So the examiner will think you haven't read the question, you're still asking the same question again. So how would you manage a situation like that? You say, I see from my notes that your mother had dementia and she's admitted for weight loss. So could you tell me what you already know about dementia? So by if you just say that, you already establishing the fact that you know her mother has dementia, and you just want to know how much she knows so that you can explain her. So if you had asked that, then you don't have to wait till your management, your diagnosis, when you're giving the diagnosis, because you're not diagnosing the patient here, right? You already have the diagnosis. You're going in trying to deliver that diagnosis. So the data gathering is only to know how much you have to deliver them. It's not about what you have to deliver them. So what you have to deliver is already known. You know that her mother has dementia. You know that she's getting worse. You know that you have to tell her that her mother needs palliative care. You have all these key points that you have to discuss. So think about what all information from the from the patient's daughter that will help you deliver these points, right? So first thing is, does the daughter already know that the mother has dementia? So that is done. And then what does she know about dementia? Does she know that the dementia is something that is progressive, like it just once it becomes worse, you can't go back, right? That is something you can ask. And what are the so you already have a situation where you know that her mother has undergone tests, right? That's also given in the question. So you ask that also. Do you know what we did for your mother? What all tests we did when she came. So that also she'll tell you. And then that's it, done. So your data gathering is finished. You know what all you have to tell her. You know what all she already knows. Now you immediately go to invitation. Your invitation came very late, right? That the patient had to bring that out of you, like she had to ask you multiple times. So try to minimize your data gathering to maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, because that's all the time they'll give you. Because anxious patients, they're gonna keep asking you their main question. They want to see how you respond to that, right? That's the whole point. So when they're asking, just don't keep pushing it again over and over again. So if they tell you, you already said, I want to ask you a few questions, right? And she agreed, and then she again asked you. Just when that happens again in the exam, don't do that. Just and then don't immediately break out the news like you did today, right? You said your mother is not doing well actually, but I'll tell you properly how she's doing. So, try not to do that. Just change your approach. You lost your time for data gathering because you already asked her once. If you ask her again, it looks really bad, or you have to break it out in a very bad way. So you immediately come down. You P is over, move on to I. Just say, okay, is there any, so never forget that you have to do an invitation before you deliver your news, right? So how you deliver your news has to come only after invitation. So ask and then immediately go on to knowledge. So knowledge here is not the knowledge of the candidate, of the patient, right? It's the knowledge that you are delivering. So whatever has happened so far, you have to tell it like quickly, because she already has told you whatever she knows. You just basically repeat all those, saying, okay, as you know, she's been having dementia, and she's been having weight loss, and we did all these tests. So give this layer by layer. So right now you only told her what she already knows. Now you have to tell her that her mother is dying, right? Her mother. So the important point here, palliative care means it's an end of life care, right? That means the doctors have already decided that it's the end of her mother's life. So that's the bad news that you have to break. So as soon as you give this, you start by one layer. Start with one layer, saying, so your mother's we've done all the tests, it's all come normal, but the problem is that means that her weight loss is because of dementia. So then she still doesn't know what that means. So give her a pause, let her ask you a question. If she doesn't ask you, immediately say that unfortunately her dementia is getting worse, and it's reached a terminal stage. All right, that is something you have to tell, because that's the main point, that you have to you say the point that it's terminal, right? When you
Okay.
say then she'll ask you terminal, then she understands something. Okay, terminal means there's something wrong, and then she'll ask you, okay, is she dying? And then you immediately say, unfortunately her condition is getting worse, and we are not expecting her to get any better. We have tried all the measures that we can take, and our consultants have decided to refer her to palliative care. You immediately take her from that question itself into your next point of delivery. So the next one delivery is, you already told her that right at this point, you already told her that her mother has an end stage dementia. Next point is you have to tell about the palliative care, right? So it's in the question, you have to somehow cover that. So next, so immediately move on to palliative care, and then ask, do you know what the palliative care team is, right? And then she'll tell you something, and then you explain what the palliative care. So this is the main aspect of the station, right? Your data management and IPS are the main part of the station. In this, data gathering is not that important. You've covered everything, but you're losing marks on the other two things. That's very,
Yeah.
very important. So as soon as you heard the 2-minute bell, you realize that you have already delivered the news, and you've already asked whatever questions you have to ask. What is left now? Have you've attended the previous session also, right? Well, that time I have mentioned, whenever you hear the 2-minute bell, you have to have three things in your mind. That is safety netting, follow up, and leaflets and pamphlets, right?
Yeah.
Do not forget this, okay? This will help you immensely in your exam, no matter what the station is. So if I had just done these three things, you would have easily gotten management 3 marks. I'm not kidding. Like, you would have easily gotten 3 marks because I already told about the condition, how it is. I mean, it might not be as well as you had wanted to deliver, but that's done, right? Next point is you have to make sure that the patient goes back safely. So that's when you have to bring up these three things: safety netting, follow up, leaflets and pamphlets. Make sure there is no miscommunication between you and the patient. So whatever you wanted to deliver to the patient is delivered clearly. How do you make sure of that? You give them some leaflets and pamphlets of whatever you told, so that they can read up about it, and you set up a follow up appointment, and then so that you can ask them about it if they had understood anything wrong, right? So these are the three things. Do not forget, these will definitely it will help in your exam in every single station, right? So every single station, 2-minute bell, just remember safety netting, follow up, leaflets and pamphlets, okay? And your IPS was really good. All right, do not worry, you're in the right track, but make sure you know what are the interpersonal skills that they're looking for in this. The main IPS is spikes. They're looking for whether you're going to follow the spikes protocol properly or not, because if you have not given an invitation and if you have delivered the news, your IPS will take a hit in this. All right, even if however well you do. All right, so make sure you focus your IPS specifically for it's only for these cases. All right, your IPS is really good, especially for simple consultations, examinations, or for all those it will work really well, but you just need to work on it a little more for these ones, okay? So make sure you appreciate, concern, and address gently that you did really well. But the main point is invitation. All right, that's the main key theme that they're looking for in this. And all right, so tick mark wise, so everything as I explained, your consultation was a little haphazard. So in this the consultation structure is spikes. Always go from SPIKES, and diagnosis was delivered a little harshly. That's why I marked that like that. But otherwise, you also forgot the key issue here. Key issue is you already know the diagnosis, so you don't have to diagnose the patient at that point. You don't have to ask them how long has she been losing weight, how much is she losing weight, and you don't have to ask them how is her dementia, specific symptoms. You don't have to ask that. Just ask her how is it, how is she dealing with it. Ask her mainly how is the situation at home. These are the main things you have to, these are the issues, okay? And listening, you kind of, I tick that because the patient had to ask you 2-3 times what is happening to my mother, right? That is something that should come very early in these stations, in Breaking Bad News especially. And Rapo was good, all right, but in this Rapo is especially they're looking for spikes for that. And time, so you need to manage your time. Make sure the 2-minute bell is a warning bell. There's a reason that 2-minute bell is there, okay? As soon you have to condition your brain to you know prioritize things as soon as you hear that 2-minute bell, okay? All right, that was really good. So I will send you a summary of this feedback on the page as well. Just go through that. and your exam has some more time. You have a lot of time, so we would love to see you another time in another case. All right. Let's see.
Okay, doctor.
Anyone?
Thank you so much for your feedback. I'm really learning from you.
Right, no problem. All right. Any doubts?
Uh, no, doctor, it's clear. Everything is, you explain it in a good way.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, one thing you
Yeah,
want to tell
thank you both of you. Yeah, really, I appreciate your effort because I just practice and I don't know whether I am going on the right track or not. So, literally, it's helped me.
absolutely. We've also felt that, especially the first time when we wrote it.
Yeah.
We didn't even know if we were going on the right track, if this is how you should deliver the news. That's what, no, you know so much about a case. You don't know what is the important thing to say in those 8 minutes.
Mhm.